Kristen Welker is the moderator of Meet the Press. Kristen, good morning. You all are going to roll out some new NBC News polling on Meet the Press this morning, including new numbers about how the war in Iran is playing with the American public. What did you find there?
Really fascinating findings, Willie. Let me take you through the Iran numbers. They show that 52% of Americans do not think the United States should have taken military action against Iran, compared to 41% who believe that the U.S. should have taken military action. It really underscores the deep divides all across the country. Here in Washington, largely Republicans are supportive of this action. Democrats oppose. Their argument is that the president should have sought congressional approval before taking this military action in Iran. And then, of course, there's the MAGA base, some of the most outspoken voices saying this goes against everything that President Trump campaigned on, that promise to get the United States out of foreign wars, not to engage in regime change. However, administration officials, Willie, who I've spoken with, say that they do believe the MAGA base is still largely unified around all of this. This poll is going to not just delve into Iran, but all of the other issues, from the president's overall approval and, of course, Willie, the economy as well. How do Americans view his handling of the economy? Particularly now, we're in this extraordinary moment, Willie, where we're seeing gas prices surge. All of this volatility that we saw this past week on the stock market, the economy continues to be the #1 issue for voters. And I can tell you there's a fair amount of consternation inside the Trump administration, inside the Republican Party, about this increase in gas prices. As Kelly was just talking about, discussions about what, if anything, to do to try to bring those prices down. Because, of course, the backdrop to all of this, Willie, the midterm elections, with Republicans fighting to try to hold on to both chambers of Congress. So we'll break down all of these new numbers with the great and one and only Steve Kornacki coming up on Meet the Press, Willie.
Now, that's a tease. You got Kornacki and Welker. I am there. Kristen, thanks so much. We'll look for more this morning on Meet the Press when Kristen is joined by UN Ambassador Mike Waltz and House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can catch the Today Show every morning on NBC, or take Today when you're on the go. Just follow the Today podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen.